Welcome to True Crime Storytime. This channel explores real-life cases, revealing the mysteries behind the crimes through each fascinating and dramatic story. On the night of June 1st, 2006, the peaceful atmosphere of the residential area on North Hamilton Avenue, Indianapolis, was suddenly shattered by a terrible massacre. 7 people, including 3 innocent children, were brutally murdered in their own home. The Alberon family, a close-knit multi-generational family, was the center of laughter and joy in this area. But on that fateful night, their home became the scene of one of the most horrific massacres in the city's history. No one expected that, in just a few minutes, a happy family would be destroyed by greed and cruelty. In the darkness of that summer night, 2 attackers quietly entered the house with a seemingly perfect plan. But instead of leaving with their possessions, they left behind innocent lives and a community engulfed in grief and anger. This murder not only shocked the entire city, but also raised the big question: what led to such a tragic event? Who is responsible for this tragedy? The story of the Alberon family is not only a reminder of the fragility of life, but also a testament to the devastating consequences that greed and desperation can bring. This tragedy not only took the lives of 7 people, but also forever left a painful mark on the memories of loved ones and the local community. The Alberon family, who live at 560 North Hamilton Avenue in Indianapolis, is a multi-generational family where love and family bonds are paramount. At the heart of the family are Emma Valdez, 46, and Alberto Covar Rubius, 56. Both have worked hard throughout their lives to create a stable and loving environment for their children and grandchildren. Emma is known as a devoted mother and grandmother, always taking care of the family and keeping the fire burning at home. Meanwhile, Alberto is an exemplary father who always strives to bring stability to the family. In addition to love, they also instill important values, such as education and resilience in their children, with the hope of creating a bright future for the next generation. This cozy house is home to the following members: Flora Alberon, 22 years old, Emma's daughter from a previous relationship. Flora is a young mother, always devoted to her son. Magno Alberon, 29 years old, Flora's older brother and the breadwinner of the family. Alberto Jr., 11 years old, and David Wright, 8 years old, Emma and Alberto's 2 sons. Luis, 5 years old, Flora's son, is the youngest member of the family. The children in the family are Emma and Alberto's greatest pride. With their innocent appearance, innocent laughter, and dynamism, they have brought joy and vitality to the family. House number 560 is not only their home, but also a place where family gatherings often take place, where everyone shares memorable moments. Despite many difficulties in life, Emma and Alberto turned challenges into strength, building a home filled with love and kindness. Their home was always open to friends and neighbors, providing a warm, humane space. But it was this openness and kindness that made them the target of a brutal plan. A false rumor about the presence of cash and valuable assets in the house reached the ears of Desmond Turner, a petty criminal who was desperate to change his life. Driven by greed and misperception, Turner planned to invade this house, leading to disastrous consequences that no one could have foreseen. On the fateful night of June 1st, 2006, Desmond Turner and his accomplice James Stewart headed to 560 North Hamilton Avenue with the intention of committing a robbery. Rumors of a safe full of money and valuables convinced Turner that this was his chance to escape his impoverished and stagnant life. However, what was originally planned as a quick robbery quickly turned into a horrific tragedy. Turner and Stewart sneaked into the house late at night. They believed that the house would be empty, or that if it was, the residents would not be able to fight back. But the reality was not as they imagined. As they began to rummage through the safe, they were surprised by the presence of Magno Alboran, the family's eldest son. Magno, sensing a stranger in the house, immediately took action to protect his family. He quickly grabbed his gun and confronted the two intruders. But Turner and Stewart, in a panic and fear of being discovered, did not hesitate to open fire first. Magno was shot and fell, leaving a large gap in the family's defense. Magno's death marked a complete change in the course of the case. From a failed burglary, Turner turned to a brutal act, eliminating all the remaining people in the house to hide his identity. Without hesitation, he went through each room and attacked each member of the family. Flora Alboran, the older sister, was shot in her bedroom. Emma Valdez, the mother and spiritual pillar of the family, tried to fight back to protect her children but could not escape Turner's cruelty. Alberto Covarrubias, the father, was murdered while trying to protect Emma and the young children. The most brutal part of the chain of events was Turner's decision to spare no one, including the three innocent children: Alberto Jr., 11 years old, David Wright, 8 years old, and Luis, 5 years old. Innocent children who did not understand the horror that was happening were murdered one by one. Their cries of pleading did not move Turner. He carried out the murders with cold determination, ensuring that no one would survive to witness them. After committing the massacre, Turner and Stewart quickly left the scene in a panic. They did not take any property, and they did not find the safe they believed was there. What remained in the house were 7 bodies and a bloody scene, marking one of the most brutal crimes in Indianapolis history. Silence fell over the house on Hamilton Avenue, but the screams of pain and horror of the victims still echoed in the hearts of relatives and the surrounding community. The tragedy not only claimed the lives of 7 people, but also left a haunting and lasting grief that could not be overcome. Early the next morning, on June 2, 2006, a neighbor near 560 North Hamilton Avenue noticed an unusual atmosphere. Seeing no signs of life in the house that was usually filled with the laughter of the Alboran Covarrubias family, the man decided to check it out. When they entered, they were confronted with a horrifying scene. 7 bodies scattered throughout the house, all shot to death. The neighbor immediately called 911. Indianapolis police arrived quickly on the scene and immediately realized the gravity of the crime. This was no ordinary burglary. This was a brutal, calculated massacre. When investigators entered the house, they witnessed a haunting scene. Magno Alboran, the eldest son, was collapsed on the ground. It was a sign that he had tried to fight to protect his family. Emma Valdez and Alberto Covarrubias were murdered while trying to fight back. The tiny bodies of Alberto Jr., 11, David Wright, 8, and Luis, 5, were neatly laid out on the bed. The children were shot at close range, showing the level of cruelty of the perpetrator. Flora Alboran, a young mother, was shot in her bed. The bloody scene, bullet holes, and signs of ransacking suggested that this was a premeditated and motivated murder. Police quickly cordoned off the scene to collect evidence. They found no signs of a safe or valuables being taken, which led them to suspect that the original motive may have been robbery, but was later changed to a massacre to cover up the identity of the perpetrator. Meanwhile, news of the massacre spread, shocking the community. Neighbors and relatives of the family could not believe that such a horrific tragedy could have happened. Investigators knew they were dealing with a complex case that required close coordination from multiple agencies. Indianapolis police began their investigation by gathering several clues from the crime scene, including fingerprints on the windows, and several items in the house did not match any family members. Signs at 560 North Hamilton Avenue suggested that this was not a random crime. Investigators determined that the killer had spent time searching thoroughly, focusing on something, most likely money or valuables. However, no evidence of this target was found. Fingerprints that did not belong to family members were found on the doors and several items in the house. From the wounds, police determined that two types of weapons were used: a handgun and an automatic rifle. This confirmed that at least two killers were involved in the massacre. Police quickly determined that this was a high-priority investigation. The FBI and federal agencies were called in to help analyze evidence and create criminal profiles of the suspects. While police worked around the clock to find the killer, the local community held vigils and memorials to express their grief for the Albaran Kovar Rubius family. The community's solidarity not only honored the memory of the victims, but also put pressure on the authorities to quickly bring justice. The case was not only a pain for the Albaran Kovar Rubius family, but also a great wound for the entire Hamilton Avenue area. This tragedy awakened a community to the fragility of security and the need to fight against senseless violence. Witnesses around the Hamilton Avenue area provided important information. Several reported seeing two suspicious men near the house on the night of the murder. The witness descriptions helped the police build a preliminary sketch of the suspects. A neighbor claimed to have seen an unfamiliar car parked near the house a few hours before the incident. The make and model of the car and its license plate number were recorded, providing useful clues to the police. Some people in the area heard rumors about Desmond Turner, a convicted felon who frequently appeared in drug-related cases. With the information gathered, the police quickly focused their attention on Desmond Turner and James Stewart, two people with criminal records who were active in the local criminal community. Stewart was said to be less proactive, but always followed Turner's instructions. With the evidence and witness statements, the police quickly issued arrest warrants for Turner and Stewart. A large-scale manhunt was launched with the support of the FBI and federal investigative agencies. Searches of suspicious locations. Police conducted raids at locations frequented by Turner and Stewart, including the homes of relatives and friends, and areas known to be gang hangouts. Community support. Public meetings were held to appeal to residents for more information. Many residents in the area cooperated with police, providing clues to the whereabouts of the two suspects. After a manhunt that lasted nearly 2 weeks, police arrested Turner and Stewart at two different locations. Desmond Turner was arrested while hiding at a friend's house. When arrested, he did not resist, but tried to deny any involvement in the case. James Stewart was arrested at a small hotel in the suburbs. When arrested, Stewart was carrying a weapon, but fortunately did not resist. After the arrest, police continued to investigate and collect evidence to strengthen the case. They discovered that Turner was the mastermind, who had planned the robbery and convinced Stewart to join in with the promise of a share of the proceeds. Motive. Turner believed that the Albaran Kovar Rubius family had a large stash of cash or drugs hidden in their home. Based on the rumors, he saw this as an opportunity to get rich quick. Fatal mistake. The two failed to find their intended target and, in a panic, decided to kill the entire family to cover up any trace. The investigation brought to light the heartbreaking details and horrifying truth of how a baseless rumor can lead to a brutal tragedy. The Albaran Kovar Rubius massacre began with an unfounded rumor in the local criminal community, which became the impetus for Desmond Turner to carry out an ambitious but disastrous plan. Turner, who was deeply in debt and had a history of petty crime, believed that the Albaran family possessed a safe filled with money or high-value drugs. Although unfounded, this belief was enough to turn Turner into the mastermind of a sensational crime. Turner, who was in debt from his illegal activities, saw a major robbery as his only way out of his predicament. Rumors in the criminal community led Turner to target the Albaran family without verifying the information. James Stewart, Turner's accomplice, played a secondary role in the plan. Although he was not the one who came up with the idea, he was drawn into the case by Turner's persuasion, or because of his desire for illegal profit. Stewart did not actively plan the plan, but only carried it out under orders. Stewart, perhaps because of his dependence on Turner, did not stop before the horrific actions. Turner and Stewart's plan was full of holes, from the choice of target to the way the situation was handled at the scene. The Alboran family was completely unrelated to crime and did not own any property as Turner thought. The plan was based on unverified rumors that led them to attack the wrong target. When Magno Alboran, a family member, returned home with a weapon, the situation escalated from a robbery to a bloody tragedy. After killing Magno, instead of retreating, Turner and Stewart decided to kill all the family members, including the children, to cover up the crime. This cruel decision showed Turner's recklessness and lack of psychological preparation. Police quickly gathered evidence to identify Turner and Stewart as the perpetrators. Turner questioned the Alboran family to confirm the information about the safe. Both appeared near the scene on the day of the incident, as recorded by witnesses. Turner and Stewart left the scene in a state of panic without erasing their traces. Fingerprints and DNA at the scene matched Turner and Stewart, along with witness testimony to strengthen the criminal profile. The investigation did not stop at collecting evidence, but also delved into the psychological analysis of the two suspects. Desmond Turner. Turner demonstrated the ability to manipulate Stewart into participating in the plan without foreseeing the consequences. When the plan failed, Turner decided to kill all the victims to cover up the crime, showing coldness and disregard. James Stewart. Although not the planner, Stewart's participation was still active by directly shooting one victim. Although not the mastermind, Stewart was still responsible for being an accomplice in the violent acts. The massacre is a testament to the devastating consequences of greed and lack of control. Bad decisions based on rumors destroyed an innocent family and ended the lives of two criminals in the legal system. After being arrested and prosecuted, both Desmond Turner and James Stewart faced a lengthy and tense trial. The case attracted great public attention, not only because of the brutality of the crimes, but also because of the legal and ethical issues surrounding the case. Turner decided to waive his right to a jury trial, instead allowing a judge to decide his fate. This was seen as a tactic to avoid the risk of being sentenced to death. The prosecutor portrayed Turner as the mastermind who planned the robbery and murders in detail. Evidence such as fingerprints, witness statements, and the murder weapon were presented to prove Turner's role. In particular, the prosecution emphasized the brutality of the killings of the three children in the family. Turner denied masterminding the murders, claiming that he only participated in the robbery and did not directly commit the acts of violence. The defense attorney attempted to mitigate the charges by emphasizing that Turner had no previous convictions for violent crimes. On November 20th, 2008, Desmond Turner was sentenced to life in prison without parole for 7 counts of murder, as well as other charges such as armed robbery and false imprisonment. The judge emphasized that the sentence reflected the cruelty and inhumanity of the killings. Unlike Turner, Stewart opted for a jury trial, hoping to generate sympathy from the jury. The prosecution argued that although Turner was the planner, Stewart was also an active participant and a key accomplice. Witnesses claimed to have seen both suspects near the scene, and Stewart's weapon was identified as having fired at least one fatal shot. Stewart denied any active role in the murder, claiming that he had been coaxed into participating in the robbery by Turner. The defense attempted to question the credibility of the witnesses and emphasized that Stewart did not directly participate in the killing. Result: Stewart was sentenced to life in prison, with the possibility of parole after 60 years. Although the sentences were not death sentences, the victims' families and the community felt that justice had been served. The two criminals were properly punished for their actions. The case has become a textbook example of how to handle serial killer cases, emphasizing the importance of combining physical evidence and witness testimony. The Alboran family massacre is an unforgettable tragedy, but it is also a testament to the power of justice and the human capacity for healing. The sentences handed down to Turner and Stewart cannot bring back those who were lost, but they send a powerful message that evil must never be tolerated. The Albaran family, along with the community, continue to move forward, carrying the memory of their loved ones in their hearts. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe for more true crime stories. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay updated. Your support means the world to us.